It's so weird how we use stuff every single day, but we never really think about like where it came from or even what the name means. Like take WhatsApp, for example.
Right.
Billions of people are tapping that little green icon all the time. But have you ever actually like stopped and wondered, why is it called WhatsApp?
It's true.
Well, that's actually what we're going to be diving into today.
Yeah.
And it's all thanks to this really fascinating detail we found in the Wikipedia article for its co-founder, Jan Koum.
Yeah, absolutely. Jan Koum, a Ukrainian-American. His story is fascinating in itself, but he built this global communication platform that's basically like taken over our lives, And when you think about it, the sheer scale of WhatsApp's impact, and then the fact that Facebook ended up buying it
for a ridiculous amount of money.
For such a crazy amount of money. It just makes you realize that even something as seemingly small as the name can actually be really significant. It kind of begs the question, was there something about the name WhatsApp that actually led to its global appeal?
That is exactly what we are going to try to figure out today.
Yeah.
Our mission, if you will, is simple, but hopefully illuminating to understand basically where the name came from.
The origin story.
Why WhatsApp? What's the story? It's so easy to just accept these things as they are, but when you understand the why behind it, it can often be really eye-opening.
For sure.
So if you've ever looked at that name on your phone and been like, I wonder what that's about.
Yeah.
You are in the right place for this deep dive.
I love that.
So one of the things that's really interesting right off the bat is that, according to the Wikipedia article at least, it seems like they didn't go through this whole long process to pick this name. They didn't have marketing teams. Focus groups. Yeah, it seems like it was actually a pretty quick decision.
It seems like it was very intuitive and based in language.
Yeah, based in language. And Spanish specifically.
Yes.
So let's break this down.
Okay.
The Wikipedia article says that in January of 2009, Koum had just gotten an iPhone.
Which, back then, that was...
can you wait?
It was a whole new world.
It was a whole new world. The App Store had just come out.
The possibilities were endless.
Yeah. So he was brainstorming app ideas with his friend, Alex Fishman. Yeah. And this is where it gets really interesting. The naming process wasn't this big, drawn-out thing.
Right.
No.
It was very simple.
Okay, so tell me, what does the article say?
Well, it says that Koum immediately chose the name of WhatsApp because it suena parecido a WhatsApp, que en español significa que pasa, que hay.
Wow. Okay, so it wasn't some made-up tech jargon word or something random they came up with.
It was very simple.
It was a play on words.
A classic play on words.
A linguistic bridge between English and Spanish.
I love that, yeah. So basically, he was inspired by the super common English greeting, what's up?
Yeah.
Because in Spanish, que pasa, or que hay, means basically the same thing.
Exactly.
What's happening or what's new.
Yeah, they both have that same casual vibe.
Yeah.
What I think is really interesting here is that, what's up is such a common phrase.
Oh yeah, everybody uses it.
In English, at least.
For sure.
So by choosing a name that sounded like it, but also had that meaning in Spanish, which is a globally spoken language,
Right.
It's huge.
Huge.
It kind of feels like he tapped into something really powerful, even though the app was still so new at that point.
Right. He maybe didn't even realize it at the time.
Right, exactly.
But it made the name super accessible.
It's memorable.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it wasn't much longer after this that WhatsApp Inc. was actually officially founded.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the article says it happened only a week later.
Wow.
On Koum's birthday.
That's one.
In California. Talk about going from idea to reality really quickly.
Yeah, it shows that they had a clear vision from the start.
Right. They were we're doing this.
Exactly.
And I wonder, do you think having such a simple and memorable name helped with that?
I think it must have, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it was easy for people to remember.
Easy to tell other people about.
Exactly.
So, okay, then what happened?
So, the story takes another interesting turn when we look at how the app actually gained popularity.
Okay.
So there was some initial interest.
Right.
But it really took off, according to the article, after Apple introduced push notifications for apps.
Ah, okay.
In June of 2009.
So you'd get a little notification.
Yeah, a little alert when you got a message.
Right, okay.
And that's when it really clicked for users.
That makes sense.
Like Fishman and his friends.
Yeah.
They started using it instead of regular SMS.
Like texting.
Yeah.
Texting. Okay, so why do you think that is?
Well, I think having a really simple name, like WhatsApp, That's easy to remember.
Yeah.
And it's also got that connection to what's up. Which everyone knows.
Exactly. And that connection to Spanish, too.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of catchy, right?
Yeah.
So when Fishman and his friends were telling other people about this new messaging app,
Yeah.
the name wasn't a barrier. It was just super natural to say.
Easy to understand.
Yeah. And maybe even a little intriguing with that Spanish connection.
Right.
It's not like it was some long, complicated name that's hard to say or remember.
Or spell.
Right, exactly. And it just flows so nicely, you know? What's up? Very catchy.
I feel like they probably didn't even realize it at the time.
It's true. Sometimes the best things are just like accidental.
Right.
Yeah, like a happy accident.
So, to sum it all up,
Okay.
the main reason behind the name WhatsApp,
Oh.
according to our source at least,
Right, the Wikipedia article.
is this very simple but clever connection between the English phrase, what's up,
Yeah.
and then the equivalent in Spanish, which is either que pasa or que hey.
Right. I love that.
It's a very direct connection.
It is. The article is very clear about that.
Yeah, the suena parecido, which means sound similar, was key.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't like they did all this research or linguistic analysis.
Yeah, it seems like it just kind of happened.
Right, it was just a natural choice based on the sound and the meaning of that phrase in Spanish.
I mean, you almost can't make this stuff up.
I know, right?
So there you have it. The name WhatsApp, which seems so simple on the surface, actually has this really cool and elegant origin story.
Yeah, very elegant.
Rooted in like a bilingual pun.
I love that, a bilingual pun.
And I think Jan Koum's decision to link the English "what's up" with the Spanish "que pasa" or "que hey"
It's so clever.
gives us this fascinating little glimpse into the early days of this app.
When things were a bit more simple.
Less planning involved.
Right, less market research.
And it ended up becoming this global phenomenon.
It's amazing.
I think it makes you think about all the little decisions that we make that we might not even think twice about.
Right.
What to name a company or a product.
Or podcast.
Or a podcast, yeah. But these decisions can have huge impacts on whether something succeeds or not.
Okay.
You know, it's all about making those choices that will resonate with people all over the world.
Yeah, global recognition.
Yeah. So, I'd like to leave you, our listener, with a question.
Right.
How often do you think these seemingly small choices, like the name of something, end up having a big impact on its success and global recognition?
That's a great question.
I mean, think about it. Are there other examples of names that you can think of that are like maybe bilingual?
Yeah.
Or that just sound really memorable or relevant? It's something to think about.
It is.
So thank you for joining us on this deep dive today
Of course.
into this fascinating little piece of the WhatsApp story.
Yeah, it's amazing how much we can learn from just a few sentences on a Wikipedia page.
I know, right? Well, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Likewise.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in.